At least I didn't lose it. But drawing it was pretty bad. It was one of those positions where I just thought basically everything wins here. I just thought I had such a decisive amount of king activity, but of pawn activity, I meant to say. Okay. Yeah, I didn't think you could go for that in these positions. So when there's the fianchetto bishop on the queen side in combination with d5, I know the plan is cd and then try to attack weaknesses on the c file. So maybe what's going to happen here is, I think at the very least I'll be able to win the dark squared bishop. So gotta be careful where I bring my knight. This looks good. Alright, I think this one's a pawn. Seems like a pretty healthy queenside pawn. So, alright, I mean that plan definitely paid some dividends. Takes. There's no way for him to, as far as I can tell, take advantage of this loose rook on c5. Let's go for this. With a nice blockading knight on d4. Nice outpost for the knight. We'll be able to establish full control over the c file, which means the rooks are going to be exchanged. We'll have an ending where we have a 2-on-1 queenside pawn majority with a good knight versus a bad bishop, arguably. So this should be pretty easy to convert. But I said that the last game. Alright, looking for some sort of minority attack, perhaps. Right, let's just keep things nice and solid. You know, I aspire to become a master, but one thing I can definitely say I'm a master of is blowing amazing positions in 10-minute online games. Never count me out. There's a way to screw this position up, I will find it. That really weakens the 7th rank. My God. Better believe I'm going to take advantage of that. Get some hogs. Oink oink. coming to gobble up all your stuff. This is my second Greek opponent today. Not sure what time it is in local Athens time or... Alright, so he's clearly looking for f4. I just don't think he can afford to give up this pawn on a6. Like, you know, I'm obviously trying to coordinate a battery on the file, but yeah, so he goes super passive there. So playing with knight c6 to e5 looks quite good. Or maybe even just looking to exchange off one of these rooks. That's totally possible too. I kind of like the look of this. My king's got luffed. No issues there. You know, that would be, you know, if I had a pawn on h2, that would be a big time problem. Because he could remove the guard. I wouldn't be able to take on f6 because of checkmate, but I have h2 and alright. Hitting the rook. Hitting here. This is fine. This isn't a pin, you know. It's not a pin and win type situation here. Drop this knight back. Rook d1. You know, I'll be able to bring the king perhaps to g3 if need be. Need to be a little careful here. Well, not if you play like that. That's a really poor move. Because now I just I mean, my king is so safe now. Just everything blockaded on the dark squares. There's no break that can hurt me. You know, it would have been much better in this position for him to have played g5. You know, because f4 is the move you want to try to make. Maybe displace my king so you can take on f2 and just cause some trouble. But h5 is just kind of capitulation. I'm going to be able to play h4. Alright, let's... I definitely want to get this knight in a better post. So I think this works well. Knight d4, and then obviously the plan here is to push these connected passers, but just want to prepare it first. Make sure everything's nice and secure. And the really nice thing about the knight on d4 is that, you know, if I ever go a4 in certain lines, it's protecting b3, so... Oh my god, I just dropped that pawn. Oh, what a blunder. Jeez. I can't believe I just made that mistake. I was so fixated on... I thought I had already pushed a4. In my mind, I had already pushed a4. Black's king is just a mile away to be able to help here. Man, my coordination's all messed up. I do think this endgame for me, though, is completely winning. Any king and pawn ending, any knight versus bishop ending, my king is just going to be so freaking active, and these pawns are just so weak. So I think I'm good to go, even though I totally misplayed this. think this makes sense. I really want to be able to play king f4. But I couldn't in that position because of rook takes f2 check. Alright, I'm gonna bail on this pawn. And just go after these weak kingside pawns, basically. Man, he's like almost weaved himself into a mating net here. Not quite, though. I'm so down on the clock. So it's looking pretty good. It's just a little messy. I was really hoping for that. Alright, we got it. A little messy, but you know, dropping the A pawn was like not ideal. To say that. I mean, our accuracy was still pretty high, 87.2. That's not too bad. Did have a brilliant move in there. We'll check that out. Yeah, but just a really good opening where just kind of abuse this weakened C file. And we got just a picture-perfect endgame here. I mean, this is just so easy to win. But of course, I told, yeah. So you cannot go h5 here. You've got to play this move. So after 8, now my king is safe as houses. Like, I don't have a care in the world. I just rerouted my knight, which was the correct thing to do, and then I just dropped this pawn. Like, what? In my mind, I had already played a4, but apparently I can just give up this is of no consequence because of this pin. I wonder if it's winning even just with this. Nah, it's gonna get a little hairy. But I'm still winning apparently. This is all fine. I could have gotten king f4 a little sooner. But I don't think No, I never let him back in the game. This was all completely winning. Okay, this was a mistake. What did he have there? Oh, just that check? Is it that disruptive? This really saves the game for him. King e1, rook h1. I was playing in king d2 here. Rook h2. I gotta watch out for this pin. Okay. I can't. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, he always has this check and this pressure on the knight. Apparently that's totally saves him. But after bishop b5, I kind of seen this tactic. I was really hoping he was going to move the bishop because now I'm able to get this fork, and if he doesn't take it, I just take the bishop. And then the rest was, even though I only had less than a minute, this is very easy to win.